can get that raise, you can get more money, and you can just move up in the world. So, yes, it's been a long time, and I'm so glad to talk to you tonight. And if you clicked on this video, it's because you've seen that title and it spoke to you. Are you the person that's ignored at work? Are you the person that you feel that you're ignored and overlooked for the promotion and all that good stuff? And maybe the title of this video, that you are being overlooked because it's the way that you're speaking, really spoke to you because you notice you're that girl, you're that lady there that has been overlooked so much. And I'm putting it back on you tonight because we can always go back and say, well, it's this kind of work environment. It's my coworkers, it's my supervisor. They're just not giving me a chance. It's this or that. But really, I want to get down to the reason why they're not giving you a chance and ask you a question that I want you to think about by the end of this live is, how do you want people to see you? Because if you are speaking in a way that is short and shy and you're reserved, you are sending a message to others that you are not to be looked at as someone that is confident or someone that they can put their trust in when it comes to wanting to give you more work that could give you an advancement in your position. I always talk about this. It's wanting to just kind of play the safe spot at work, just being that quiet, reserved person in the corner. It's not going to work in the long run. And I want to speak from experience. I used to kind of be that way when I first started out in my career. I would do my job, I'd do it very well. I loved my job. I would sit there and I would just kind of put my head down and grind out my work. However, I wouldn't put in as far as having a lot of extrovert kind of conversation with those around me. When the meetings came about, I didn't try to really engage as much because I wanted to sit in, I wanted to listen, I wanted to show that I was being there, I was listening. But that never got me the attention that I wanted. I wanted the attention for a promotion. I wanted to be considered. I wanted to be looked at for the next big project so that way I could get to the next level. However, playing it safe and being in that back role and being quiet only took away from my opportunities. Nobody was going to look and go, wow, Andrea seems really quiet and reserved. I definitely want to put her on this really big, important project. I really want to give this client to her because I know that she's going to be able to shine when she's with this client. Why would they think this? Why would they think this about me if every time I'm around them and in that presence, I'm this quiet, reserved person? So you have to think about, how are you showing up, and are you coming off in your tone of voice too short? You're coming off shy, reserved, and not just your tone of voice, it's the way that you say things. You're always unsure. You're always unsure, and maybe I'll do this, or what do you think? Asking for other people's opinion over, and that's fine. You want to get input from the team. But I want you to understand, when you come off as unsure and you're asking too much and you don't come off with a confident statement, if you're having to explain it over and over and you can't just simplify and say things in a one sentence way, people are going to forget you. They're not going to pay attention and you're going to lose them. It's time for you to start to speak up and say it very clearly, say it very definitively. So, what I want you to really take away from this live is switching the way that you say things, just in the slightest, can make all the difference. So instead of saying, do you think we can, saying, I think we should do it this way. See the difference there in that simple sentence. Another example I love to do in all kinds of scenarios. I don't typically ask, can we? I don't really ask in a question. I usually say, I'd like to sit over there. So it's a simple thing. If I go to a restaurant and I prefer a different section to sit at, I'll typically say, and I do prefer to sit in that location. I don't usually ask, is that okay? Do you have a waitress over there? I just say what I want, and it usually happens. Now, I'm not going to be argumentative if I can't get that spot. Of course not. I totally understand they have a way that they're trying to section off the restaurant. However, I'm always going to say what I want in a direct way and say it definitively and not necessarily ask for permission for it. I'm usually just going to say it. And so, doing that subtle shift in your own life, in your own interactions at work, can make such a difference in the way that people receive you. So, going back to that question, if you're just jumping onto the live, how do you want people to see you? Do you want people to see you and think, mm, she's nice? Or do you want people to see you and say, I like her because I know she's really confident? Uh, I know Susan in whatever department, I know she can get it done. You want that kind of feedback. You want that talk about you in the halls. You want somebody to bring your name up in conversation and say, you know who would be great on this? Is Rebecca, is Janet, is Sophia, whatever your name is. You get my point. Is that you want somebody to see you as very confident and somebody that they could go to even for opinion, somebody that they can confide in. So, definitely, how do you want somebody to see you is really determined on the way that you are using your everyday speech when you're talking to them on a daily basis. So, even if you're just having regular conversation, being able to be very direct in your beliefs and your thoughts can hold a lot of influence in the long run. And just want to take a quick break and say thank you to everybody signing in. Thank you. If this is your first time, very nice to meet you. And if any of this is starting to make sense to you, definitely double tap the video, gives me a thumbs up, so that way I know this is starting to make sense for you. If this is you, if this is you and you feel, yes, it's the way that I've been speaking, and that's why nobody takes me serious at work. Nobody really sees me as that girl, that one to go for, that the person to put on and really want to work with because you have so long put yourself in a position to sound as if you don't really know or that you're unsure. Why does somebody have to jump out and give you this role of confidence when you don't even sound like you have it for yourself? So you really have to learn how to speak up for yourself and just say it definitively. Stop asking. Stop asking for the maybe or the what if or using those kinds of phrases when you're talking to someone. Just say it as, I'm going to go with this. This is what I think we should do. I prefer to sit in this section. See how nice that feels? Just think about it for a second. In your own spot, wherever you are right now, double tap if you're understanding what I'm saying. Just think about it for a second. What would that feel like for you to just know that you are just very clear on what it is that you want? Just say it. Just say it exactly how it is. How would that feel for yourself at the end of the day to know that you have just put it out there and you've said it very clearly and you're that type of person? You're living your life in a way that is very intentional because everything that you're saying when your interactions are there is very direct and very clear. So I want you to just think about that for a second, and think about what that would feel like for you. So once again, looking at so definitely looking at the comments. Thank you so much for signing in. I think I'm saying it correctly, Jacqueline. Uh, the important thing to note is that your body value. I really like that comment that your body values your energy. Yes, it does, because when we treat ourselves in a certain way, when we think in ourselves who we are, and we have decided the type of person that we are and how we're going to move about in this world, it really is very physically relaxing. It really is. You feel physically relaxed, which allows you just to interact on an easier basis. So when you come in conflict with someone, I'm having a tough time tonight. When you come in conflict with someone, it makes it that much easier for you to be able to handle those conflicts. You don't get very worked up or nervous or anxious because you know who you are in your own mind, so it's much easier to handle those situations. Definitely. Once again, if you're just joining the live, thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrea Palmer. Please double tap and subscribe. It's so nice to meet you, ladies. Once again, I am a coach for women who are ambitious, motivated, and they want to succeed in their chosen career. I help you learn how to communicate so that you can do that, so that you can communicate in a way that gets you that promotion, whatever it is that you're striving for, so that you can make more money and you can live this wonderful life that you want. I always try to add a little bit there that it's not always about the money, but it is in a sense because you want to live a certain type of lifestyle and you're going to need resources and funding for that. So yes. So I help you learn how you can communicate with those around you so that you can carry some kind of influence that is going to change things for you. Specifically, I like to specialize in how you can talk to men in the workplace so that way you can learn how to maneuver through that having being in a male dominated field if that's where you're at. So definitely subscribe if that's something that you're into. I want to put out a ton more videos on that. I've always worked, I've worked very extensively with men that work from all kinds of walks of life. So I tend to think I am very well versed in how to work with men so that way you can get what you need. Yes. And I actually want to add a little PS there. Has nothing to do with flirting. I don't know why a lot of women think that you need to flirt with men to get where you want to be. You really don't. It's very low level to do that. Yeah, so thank you all for signing in. It's so nice to see you. It's great to go live with you tonight. I really appreciate your time. And as I said before, if this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much. Double tap, subscribe. That way you can get a notification every time I go live. And I appreciate your time. So nice to see you, and have a great night.